Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Excuse the shirt. I just got out of the shower and my hair was there. I just wanted to start off by saying what an interesting encounter this would be to run into you here. Obviously, this is stupid. I don't know why I'm doing it. I guess I do. Most of the internet has become a culture of scripted encounters where people artificially create scenarios where you feel involved and you feel connected to them because there's a false connection between you and the people online. And it's entirely artificial. And all the online creators use very similar tools and techniques and strategies to try to get you engaged. And that's not a condemnation of them because they're working in that space and they're trying to make money and make a living for themselves. And that's how your brains work, is you want those parasocial relationships to be able to feel like a meaningful connection online because you are lonely and sad and you want to have those meaningful connections and you want to replace it with something that feels more like the dopamine that you need, but you actually really want something else. Anyways, that's a whole different issue. I want to talk today just about the internet. What is the internet and what did it used to be? And what has it become over time? I was reading a book chapter by a friend who's writing a book about millennials and what it was like to grow up in a time where everything was changing and the world was breaking. And one of the things that came up was the early days of the internet, where we all jumped on and we're on LiveJournal and we're on different platforms where we shared raw, unfiltered thoughts with everyone around us. And it was the wild frontier of history where the internet was so new. Everyone was pushing social boundaries, trying to figure out what works, trying to decide what we could do with this crazy new tool for connecting people. And when I read it, I had so much nostalgia about what that used to be like compared to what the internet is today. And a lot of that is because we've taken what used to be this wild frontier, these beautiful open coastlines with all of this nature and wildness and humanity shoved into this digital space, and we've replaced it with beachfront property condominiums, which you can rent through a timeshare if you agree to this subscription service and you're willing to become one of our users. And it feels so artificially curated now compared to what it used to be. And I don't know if that's a fix. I don't know if that's something we can do. Like, I don't know if we can go back to find the wildness of humanity and put them back into the internet in some way. But in some ways, this is an attempt to do that. And that's kind of why I started to make these videos, is to try to add raw, uncurated content back into the world. And especially as AI becomes more and more prevalent online, I've lost one of the things that I find most interesting is the language of other people, and it's been replaced by, it's not just this, it's that, or bullet points of 1, 2, 3 in a list, or any of the other artificially curated content that AI or people have adopted because it's cheaper and faster to make content for the internet using those tools. Anyways, right now when I look at the internet, what I see is that what used to be the wild frontier, where the people that lived in it and made content and existed in that space were the priority or the focus, has shifted. And instead of just being people playing in a new ecosystem, it's now this weird thing where the people have become the product. And you've probably heard this, but let me just help explain it in a little bit of a different way. But the reason that all of these different companies exist, that all these different platforms that we're all on, is to capture you. It's to take you as a user and sell you to other people. Usually it's billionaires selling you to other billionaires. So like someone will pick out and pull out an advertisement and say, this person has come into my system. I'm going to show them whatever you want. What do you want to show? Scott from Portland, who has long hair and a mustache and makes bad videos. That person then is sold to another company to advertise to, so that I'm more likely to buy their product or think more highly of that product in the future. That's the world we live in, and oftentimes we don't realize that on the internet we're just a commodity being traded and bartered back and forth. But you can see it in the language of the internet. How has the language around the internet describes you? Who are you? You are a user who's addicted to my products. You are a subscriber. '" 'Cause, 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 'C a follower, someone who just follows me around. I mean, maybe not me because I don't have any followers, but you on the internet are the product. Even the content curators, they've been corporatized. If I'm on YouTube, my goal is to become a partner, right? My goal is to not be demonetized. I want to remain in the money for the corporate relationship that I have to be able to have sponsored ads. If I'm on Twitch, I want to become a partner. On Twitch, you are chat. You're not even people. You're just an amalgam of entities existing in my space that I use for my content. So thank you, chat and fam and people and followers and fans and units that I can convert into revenue. Because that's what you are on the internet. And it's really frustrating to me as someone who valued the human engagement, especially when I look back and saw what the Wild Frontier used to look like. What did raw humanity look like and raw human connection mean back in the day before we turned the internet into a series of slot machines where you go to the website and you pull on the lever and you hope your brain gets the good chemical, and everyone in the casino is up there in the board office saying, great, we've got a lot of users here today to be able to farm, to be able to sell to whoever, right? I miss the old days of the internet. I don't know if we can go back to it, but there was something different about it than we are today. And I wish I had a solution for this one, but I don't. I think it'd be awesome to have some of that Wild Frontier back. Now, that doesn't mean I want the bad to come back. Like, I don't want people to just be able to share horrible, offensive thoughts or bully online or anything like that. But I do want there to be humanity as the focus, the people as the focus, not convert the people back into the product, not to be sold in little digital boxes to each other between a class that controls all the platform and takes all of the money and all the content that we create and all the consumption that we have to be able to take as much of the profit away from the value that we create. And that's the society we live in, unfortunately. So if anyone has any great ideas, I'd love to hear them, because this is a problem that I'd love to solve, or I'd love someone else to solve, to be specific. So thanks. I'm sorry for the doom and gloom bit.